Welcome to the Librarian's Midnight Library. I'm your librarian, and the world has finally gone quiet enough for a story. Today, we step into the cold stone depths of the vault to uncover a tale of darkness. Take a deep breath, leave the world behind, and let's begin. Ilara lived in a house that felt like a held breath. It was a narrow Victorian thing at the end of a dead end street, filled with the inherited clutter of three generations of women who never threw anything away. When her great aunt Martha passed, she left Era only one item, a heavy ironwood loom that sat in the attic, draped in a grey sheet that looked like a shroud. On the first rainy Tuesday of October, Elara pulled the sheet away. The loom was beautiful, but wrong. The wood was so dark it looked charred, and the petals were worn smooth by feet that must have marched for miles without moving an inch. Most strange of all was the work already started on the frame. A half-finished tapestry hung there. It was a landscape of a graveyard in winter, but the detail was impossible. You could see the individual flakes of frost on the headstones. You could see the skeletal veins of the leafless willow trees. Ilara reached out to touch the thread. It didn't feel like wool, it felt like hair, cold, fine, and strangely resilient. That night, Lara began to bake. She didn't know why. She had never used a loom in her life, but her hands moved with a terrifying, rhythmic precision. Like, like sound echoed through the hollow house. As she worked, she realized the basket of thread beside her was filled with coils of silver, chestnut, and raven black strand. As her fingers pulled a silver thread through the warp, she felt a sudden sharp chill in her own chest, as if she were pulling a string directly out of her own heart. By midnight, a new figure appeared in the graveyard of the tapestry. It was a woman, seen from behind, standing over a fresh grave. The woman was wearing a coat Ilara had just bought the week before. She tried to stop. She grabbed the wooden shuttle to shut it down, but her fingers would not conquer. Her feet continued the pedals. Chuck, chuck. The house began to change as the tapestry grew. The smell of the attic shifted from dust to the scent of damp earth and funeral lilies. The shadows in the corner of the room didn't stay still. They began to stretch towards the loom, as if they were the ones providing the dark ink for the image. Ilara looked closer at the headstone of the painted woman was mourning. The stone was blank, but as she was, threads began to shift and knit together. A letter appeared. N-E, then N-L. She was weaving her own epitaph. You must finish the pattern, a voice whispered. Ilara spun around, but the attic was empty. The voice hadn't come from the room, it had come from the loom itself. The wood groaned under the tension of the hair threads. The women of this house do not live. The voice vibrated through the floorboards. We only wave. We wave the end so that the beginning can start again. Pull the thread, Ilara. Pull the silver string. She looked at her own hand. They were becoming pale, the veins turning the color of the indigo dye in the basket. She realized with a jolt of horror that the silver thread wasn't coming from the basket anymore. It was growing out of her own skull, being pulled into the machine by an invisible force. She watched as the tapestry version of herself turned around. The face in the wave was now perfect. It was her face. But the eyes were missing. Just two empty black holes where the thread had not yet filled. Lara made a choice. With a strength she didn't know she possessed, she reached for the iron shears on the table. As the blade touched the hair thread, the house let out a scream of pain. The threads didn't snap, they bleed. Thick dark crimson ink began to soak into the graveyard scene, turning the winter fight into a bloody red. The waving didn't stop, it accelerated. The loom moved so fast it became a blur of dark wood and silver hair. Ilara felt herself being pulled forward, her variations being sucked into the wheel. She wasn't standing in the attic anymore. She felt the crunch of frost under her boots. She smelled the cold metallic scent of a coming snowstorm. She looked up. Above her was a ceiling made of wooden beams. Looking down through the sky was a giant, towering version of herself, still holding the shears in the attic. She was no longer the weaver, she was the thread. High above in the attic, the loom finally fell silent. The tapestry was finished. It showed a woman trapped behind a fence of iron, her hands pressed against the fabric of the sky, her eyes two empty black holes. The grey sheet floated down from the rafters, covering the loom once more. The house was silent. The dead-end street was quiet, and in the basket, a new coil of chestnut hair waited for the next daughter to climb the stairs. The pattern is complete, and the loom is still. Thank you for wandering into the vault of shadows here at the Librarian's Midnight Library. If you felt the pull of the thread tonight, remember some stories are better left unraveled. Subscribe to keep your pace in our dark collection. Until the next midnight, stay safe, sleep well.